Welcome to Life with Marlene, and welcome to the Life Lessons podcast. If you're new to this channel, hit that like, subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell. Welcome to all of you gems. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday to everybody. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and welcome to today's podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about people that we know in our life and asking ourselves the question, who are they in the on the inside? Many times that we fall for how a person looks, we go by the beauty. And there was a song many, many years ago. I don't remember the artist, but the song said, beauty is only skin deep. And as human beings, it's only natural to look at people and to see somebody who we feel that is attractive. But what type of person are they? And that's what I want to focus today's discussion on, that part. What type of person are they? Not how do they look, but what kind of person are they on the inside? How have they shown themselves to be by not just looks? Because after a while, even when you're young, a person could have these it could be a gorgeous woman, or it could be a very handsome individual, but what type of person are they? What type of person are they on the inside? And it means that you have to have something substantial inside of yourself to look at people that way. And that's why I said that this is the Life Lessons podcast. Because when I was younger, boy, let me tell you, I could really be taken for a ride looking at some man and be like, oh my goodness, look how handsome he is. And you're razzle dazzled. You get hypnotized by how a person looks. You could say, oh, that look at that man, he's so handsome. Or you look at a woman and say they are so beautiful. But once you spend some time around somebody, you find out that this person is really not who they are cracked up to be. They can look beautiful or they can look handsome, but there's nothing inside. One of those things that a person is just a shell of a woman or a shell of a man. There's nothing behind that. Hey, Miss Puzzle Pieces, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And that's why I say all the time, don't fall by looks. Like I said, as reference to the song, beauty is only skin deep. And of course, everybody wants to be in a relationship with somebody and find them attractive. Nobody wants to be married to a ugly person. There has to be some sort of attraction, but that should not be the only thing, the only reference point when we're talking about somebody to date and somebody to be in a relationship with or somebody to marry. Many times that we fall by just the looks or the things, going by material pursuits. And that can really get you off your game, off track in life if you're only thinking about what a person has or how a person looks. And yeah, it's nice to have things, but there has to be more to an individual besides their pocketbook, or there has to be more to a person than the vain things in life. Yes, a person can be very beautiful, but even after a while, when you get older, beauty fades. And then when certain things fade about a person, who are you actually with? Those are the things that are important. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. Hey, friends with super channels, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday to you. Hey, Nancy, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. If everybody could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. And you all can drop as much as emojis as you would like. So let's get into talking about this. Who are they inside? Who are they on the inside? What is their character? What is their personality? What is their background? You know, that's the things that we really honestly need to focus in when we're talking about an individual to date or to marry, or a friendship, or getting involved in a business. What kind of reputation do they have? What type of character? And we have to ask ourselves these sort of questions so that we save ourselves emotionally, mentally, financially, and physically from harm. Because a person could pretend to be such this great friend, and they have this big group of people, and you can say they're a very likable person. But then when you really find out, after spending time, after really listening to people, you really find out that this person is not a very likable person. They seem to be, and people put up a smoke screen, and then you say, who is this person? Like, what am I even doing? Hey, Miss Eunice, how are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. And that's why I always say, I remember being young. And when you're young, you're very gullible, you're inexperienced, and you fall for things very easy. And I wanted to have this conversation because I do think that it's a very important reference point, that when you're younger and you're inexperienced, we sometimes are told, stay away from certain individuals, or that's not a good business deal, or this person is not a good friend. But we don't want to listen because we don't want to be wrong, or we don't want to believe those inklings that you have on the inside. And everybody, you see the red flags. You know when somebody is not a good person, or somebody is not all they are cracked up to be. But we want to fool ourselves. We don't want to actually say, that this person who try to warn me is right. My parents, my friends, my siblings, a workmate, even our own self, our own intuition is telling us, stay away, danger. They're not who they are. But that it takes maturity to come to that space and learn the life lesson and ask ourselves these questions. Who are these individuals on the inside? How do they treat themselves? And we have to go by qualities and not words. And I know that that's not an easy thing, because you can't really know what a person is like on the inside until you spend some time with them. But if you honestly and truly pay attention to how they talk and how they treat people, what sort of conversations do they have, and especially the point of reference that I like to go by all relationships, whether it's friend, romantic, job, um, in a relationship, how do they talk? And a person can really fool you by words. And they can make themselves to be this grandiose person, and they have these big titles, and they can have so much education, but in real time, what sort of qualities do they possess? Are they patient? Are they loving, compassionate, understanding, kind? Are they a joyful person, or are they an angry person, miserable, difficult to deal with, a procrastinator, a thief, a liar, a manipulator? All of those things are what people can be, that we know. We know what people are, but it's us being able to skim. It's just like when you are doing some sifting, when you're sifting flour. You want important things. The important things are always the things that drip down. So after a time period of being an adult, you go through things in your life, but you have to sift through all of the difficulties and let the positive, let the good, cause you to be a mature adult. And a lot of people don't know how to be a grown woman, or how to be a grown man. They are still letting themselves be a little boy or a little girl. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to do what they're supposed to do. So we see this, and I have these conversations in these podcasts because I do think that it's important to talk about the qualities of other people and not the words. We play games, we pretend, we act like we don't know, but we do. We know, we just don't want to believe it, or we want to believe what other people are saying. Well, my mom said they were a good person, and my sister or the person that I introduced them to said they're a good person. But just because somebody is a good person for them does not make it a good person for you. That was a life lesson for me. I had to learn that what another person can handle and deal with doesn't make it good for me. Every person is different. Every person wants different things, but we also have to protect our mind and our heart, our mindset from foolishness. Some people, honestly, are fools. There's no easy way to sugarcoat it and say it, sidestep. Some people are just fools. They're very ignorant. They're lazy. They're manipulators, and they will do anything to harm you if you don't open up your eyes. So, to all of you gems, open up your eyes to the realization of who people really are by their actions, not their words. They can say, "Oh, I'm so humble. Oh, I'm so kind. I'm so compassionate. I'm so loving. I'm so respectful. I respect other people. I respect others' boundaries." But when you make a boundary, they try to go around it, or they try to force their way through it, or they're a person who is controlling, but um, they don't feel that they're controlling. They just want their way. So they're just, I know I shouldn't be this way. And it's always the excuses. That's one thing that I definitely had to learn. I had to grow and let myself marinate in those thoughts that just because I may like or care for somebody, it doesn't mean that person is good for me. It doesn't mean this is a person that I need to be around or I need to support or listen to, because everybody is on different levels in the journey of their life. Some people are still stuck back when they were 5 or 6 years old, and they have some people who are younger than us, and they're more emotionally and mentally and spiritually mature than somebody who's 50, 60 years old. So it's not based on age, it's based on wisdom and applying the things that you know, applying the things that you have heard. Okay. It's very important. Let's see. Yes. Hello there. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. I really appreciate it. Hey, Alicia. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. She says, I like that sifting analogy. I'm working and listening in from the bushes. Thank you so much, Alicia. I hope you're having a good work day. I had to learn the hard way. Everyone is not your friend. Oh boy. And that is something that we all have to learn from one period. Either you learn through hard knock life by when you were disobedient or hard-headed or selfish, or you wanted to have things the way that you wanted it, and then when you get dropped on your head or your heart gets crushed, then you actually learn the lesson. Some of us have to learn from bad experiences. Even when we're warned, we still don't get it until it's like you don't get it until you get it. So I want for us to be better than that and to be more mature than you don't have to learn everything through experience. You can read about it, you can see what other people go through and say, that will never be me, because I don't want that to be me at all. Thank you so much for the Lisa. I really do appreciate it. Let's go to the next point, everybody. So, who are they inside? Don't fall for the smoke screen, okay? A person can put up this wall, this facade, this portrayal, and be this whole character. Oh, I'm this. We all know them, especially in the dating world or with friendships or other people. They will portray themselves to be this wonderful person, this, an intelligent person. And yes, but there is a difference in intelligent. A person could have lots of um, educational intelligence, but they have no real life skills. They don't know how to handle and deal with and know how to cipher through um, good decisions. They don't know how to make good decisions in real time, even though they are book smart. They're book smart, but they're not life smart. They're not street smart, I guess you could say. And I had to really pay attention to that because we can get so involved in how a person talks, how a person looks, that we fall for that okey doke. We fall for the foolishness that they're putting out there. And, give them your money, give them your body, give them your energy, give them your time. And, life is so fickle. It really is. You don't know what will happen next in your life. It's like you can see somebody, them, and then in a few minutes you could hear that they have passed. And because of the uncertainty of life, you have to be careful about what you're spending your time, your effort, your energy on. There's a lot of people that I know I wasted so much energy and effort in trying to convince myself that they fit into this mold of what I want when they have never fit that mold. They've never been the person that I thought they were. But I had to come to that realization. And that's what I'm saying. Who are they on the inside? Are they really who they have portrayed themselves to be? Or have you just got hypnotized by their words? And that's something that I had to admit it. I had to be accountable. Like, why did I believe that? Why did I fall for that? And I think that this is a very important reference point right here. We usually get so hooked up in a person's good words or a person's good looks, but we really don't go by how are they treating you. They can say everything nice and good to you, and tell you how good of a person they actually are. But when the real life shows up, how do they treat themselves? Most people will treat you how they treat themselves. Not all the time, but the majority of the time. That's why I always have been saying, now that I know myself and love myself, don't treat me how you treat yourself. I want you to treat me how I want to be treated, because how a person treats themselves most likely is how they're going to treat you. And if they're not treating themselves in a good way, if they don't know themselves and love themselves, they don't value time, they would like to waste money, they like to do lots of things that will irritate you, what makes you think that they're going to show a different standard to you? you know and you have to be very honest and ask yourself, how do they treat themselves? How do they treat you? How do they treat others? And if you don't like it, having enough courage and being mature enough to say, this person will never change. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if it's your mother, your father, your auntie, your siblings, your friends, your spouse, significant other. Toxicity is toxicity. And there are certain individuals that we need to leave them alone. Actually, we need to run when we see the red flags, when we can identify and say, oh my goodness. Because yes, sometimes you get into it, and before you realize, you're already in quicksand. And if you're able to recover and get out, even if you have to crawl on your knees, get out, move, leave, but don't stick around thinking that you're going to change somebody. Hi, Angie. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. You have to ask yourself these questions. How do they treat themselves? How do they treat you? How do they treat others? And I've seen in relationships, people come into a relationship and they've seen how they treat their children, how they treat their family, and it's not a good way. How they treat their mother, how they treat other people, very rude and disrespectful. What makes us think that they are going to treat us in a good way when all of the cards are on the table? We can see it. How they talk to, how they're rude, how they're disrespectful, how they're mean, and what is their background? How are they treating themselves? Or how are they not treating themselves? Because if a person is not in a space to where they know how to love themselves, they know how to be their own friend, they know about boundaries and setting them, they're good at being a communicator. Until a person knows how to communicate with themselves, they will not know how to communicate with you. That's a real thing. You're good. That's awesome, Angie. And Miss Nexie is talking to those in the chat. Hey, Boss Life Online, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. We have to ask ourselves, who are these individuals on the inside? And I'm referencing all relationships, whether it's your parents, your siblings, grandparents, aunts, cousins, your friends, quote unquote friends, your workmates, your spouse, your significant other. How do they treat themselves? And if a person is not treating themselves good, like I always reference, how do they eat? How is their health habits? Do they have wellness habits? Like, they're taking care of their body, they're getting exercise. How do they treat other people? Like, are they a forgiving person or are they a miserable person? Are they an individual who is accountable for their actions? And I found the individuals who are still stuck in immaturity and they have never accepted blame for anything that they've done. They don't like to apologize or they won't apologize because they're a person who always has to be right. And we have to be very careful of people like that. And we could just say, oh, that's the way they are. No, that's the way they want to be, but we have to be careful about how we protect our energy, how we protect our power, how we protect our money and our spirituality. If we don't take care of those things, nobody is going to. And it starts to affect us mentally. And I will tell all of you that your mental health really does matter. And individuals, if we allow it, and many times we do, we allow, your children, you allow your spouse or significant other, you allow friends, siblings, whoever to do all of these things to us that we don't deserve, you know? And we start to feel like we are a bad person because of the way we're being treated. And we have to stop allowing the outside to be our reference point on the inside. Just because a person doesn't appreciate us, doesn't see our worth, doesn't appreciate our time, it doesn't mean we don't deserve to have those things. I had to learn from my own self, how do I treat me? And if I don't start putting up boundaries and setting boundaries, nobody else will. Even if another person doesn't like it, if even if other people don't like the way that you treat yourself, and they may be intimidated by, especially when you raise your vibration and you have confidence and you have a healthy amount of self-esteem. I don't mean to have this big inflated head and to think you're the most perfect or best person in the entire world. I just mean that you have a healthy level of confidence. You love yourself. You're your own friend. You know about setting boundaries. And until you get to that space in your life, you will settle for anything from anyone. Ask me how I know. I did that for years because I didn't feel that I could walk away from certain individuals, especially relatives. I have a love hate relationship with my quote unquote family. I love them with everything. But what I had to learn for myself is I can't love them more than I love myself. And I can't put them ahead of my own personal interests, my own talents, my own gifts, my own peace of mind, my mental health, my physical health. Because if you keep following behind these negative, dark, using people that we know and we say we love them, I had to come to the realization that I love them more than they love me. And that was hard to take that in and to actually believe that, because we want to believe our friends, our family, our significant other, every relationship on our life, we want to believe that they feel about us the way we feel about them. And it's not always the case. That's why it's important from time to time to step back from all relationships and to ask ourselves certain questions. What's the last thing they did for me? When is the last time they checked on me? And it's not always about spending money, but there's many ways that we can give support to others, by our time, by just picking up the phone, by spending quality time together, by spiritual support, whatever is your spiritual belief system, tuning in spiritually to one another. Um, acts of service, doing something nice for them, spending quality time together, or just saying the words, I'm thinking about you, I hope you're doing okay. It's important for us to have and possess those things and give that to others so that we can receive that back. What I had to learn for myself as a grown and mature woman is that I was expecting so many things from others, but it's not their responsibility to give me, you know, self love. It's not their responsibility to give me kindness. It's not their responsibility to set up boundaries. It's up to me to say, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I like. And learning the power of saying no, no, period. There's no explanation after you say no. That's it. You said no, and then it's then up to me and it's up to you to be able to put yourself in that position to say, I said no, I mean it. I'm not going to explain. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to do everything that I said that I'm going to do. And nobody can do that for us but us. We each have to come to that space to where we know ourselves, we love ourselves, and we're willing to speak up for ourselves, advocate for ourselves, and keep our own promises to ourselves. Yes, that part. You have to love yourself more than you love others. You can't put their pleasure above your own peace. And I had to learn that myself, Miss Eunice, and to all of you gems. I had to learn who I was. What was my reason for existing? Why am I here on this earth? What is my purpose? What are my talents? What am I good at? And until I got to that space to know who I was, why I was here, what is my mission, what is my reason, what is my why, I was going to be miserable. Because if you're looking for your worth inside of how much money you have or the way that you look, those vain things can always be fleeting. They can always drop off. They can always go away. At any point, you could lose your job. You can, be scarred in your face or your body, or you can start having some sort of debilitating disease. So anything can happen. That's why I always say for us to go back to that point of focusing on our inside. What sort of woman am I? What sort of woman are you? What sort of man are you? And working on our own stuff on our inside. How do I treat myself? What is my confidence level? Do I give in to fear, or do I know how to couple my fear with my faith? I think that was life changing for me when I learned that I could be so fearful. I'm so fearful about a lot of things that many of you gems don't know and understand. I get fearful every single time I press the live button, or every single time I get up and I give a motivational speech, or every time I take a phone call with a client. I get I get nervous every time because I always want to give my best. But I think that the most important thing is that even when we have fears in this life, before I went to therapy, I used to be fearful, and then when I had that fear, I gave into the fear and I would run the other direction as fast as I could. But then when I got introduced to confidence and I coupled my fear and my confidence with my faith, I was unstoppable. And you do become unstoppable when you use whatever it is that you believe in. That when I don't know what's next, I don't know what my next step is going to be, I know that I'm not alone. Okay, I got you. It's like making sure you have that safety net. And before I was introduced to the renewal of my spirit and what I connect with, until I learned that I wasn't alone, that even if everybody else abandoned me, even if other people stab me in the back, even if I'm having the worst week, day, month, I'm not alone. And I don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to suffer alone. It's so important to make sure you have that safety net in place, whatever that is for you. Your faith, really great friends, good mentors, a therapist, just some good people that are on your side and not seeking anything from you. I had to learn that. That was a life lesson, that I could have people in my life and they will just love me unconditionally. They're not going to love me only when I can give them some money, or only when I can give them my body, or only when I can give them something for them to feel supported. But what about the times where I need support? Are they anywhere around? Do they even call you? So I learned a few things in that season, when, that season of abandonment, that season of, really evaluating the people that you know of and asking yourself, why are they in my life? From time to time, I would encourage all of you to go through your phone and look through all your contacts in your phone and ask yourself, what is the reason why they are in my phone? What is the reason why they are in my life? And how are they adding to it? How are they supporting me? How are they encouraging me? How are they uplifting me? How are they helping me to push forward? You know, do they bring me peace, or do they bring me pain? Hmm. That was one that I had to pause on. That was something that I had maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. My mentor gave me that assignment, to are the people that are in your life, are they bringing you peace, or are they bringing you pain? And if they are bringing you pain, now what are you going to do about it? Because many of us, when we experience pain, we just, what do you do? Like, you take a pain reliever, you go lay down, you just do something to cover it up so that you continue to cope with it. But the thing that we need to do is, when someone is bringing you pain, you need to eliminate what is bringing you pain. You need to eliminate the problem, the source, so you are no longer in the pain. And that does take a lot of courage. That takes accepting that people are who they are, and that you deserve better. I had to say that out my mouth. I deserve better. And you do. We each do. We each deserve better. We all deserve better treatment. We all deserve to be respected. Every single one of us. We deserve it. And I put the link here in the chat if anybody has something to add to this discussion before I end it. I put in the StreamYard link. You're more than welcome to come up. Miss Eunice says, that is something that I actually do. Do I look in my phone at least a few times out of the year, sometimes quarterly, see who's in my phone, and there's no real connection, I delete their phone number. Exactly, Eunice. If a person is just in your life to use you, then you can lose them. That's where I'm vibrating these days. If I'm the only one putting in the effort and the energy, that's not a relationship. That's one-sided. If the person only calls you when they want something, but they never call you just to be, just to support, just to celebrate, just to encourage, just because they're thinking of you. Um, You got to have it on both sides. Everybody needs a friend. But also we too have to be a friend to ourselves first, and we have to realize who are the people who are taking, who are the people who are, attaching themselves to us and using us like a leech. They're leeching onto us and they're sucking you dry of in every way, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically. They're taking, and they're not going to stop until you have nothing left. There are certain individuals that will take and take and take, and we see it, and we'll excuse it, and we'll say, this is my sibling, this is this person, this is that person, and I have to do it. No, you don't have to. That's why every day is a new day. Every day you wake up, you have new opportunities, but it's what you are going to allow yourself to do. What are you going to allow yourself to believe and to do? Or what are you going to do and finally advocate for yourself and speak up for yourself and say, I don't have to take this. I don't have to take this treatment. Don't have to put up with this disrespect. I deserve way better than what I am getting. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation to say that to all of you gems. I can't believe it. Today is May 1st. I forgot to say happy May. Hello, May, to everybody. And I hope that this month brings you in more peace, energy, blessings, elevation, encouragement, and goals to be accomplished. I hope that you work on your gifts and your talents and have enough courage to walk away from negativity and people who are using you. Because we deserve so much better if only we will accept that and receive it. You deserve to get more than you are putting out there. Don't accept the crumbs. Don't expect for people who don't know themselves, don't love themselves, don't respect you to respect you. We can't expect for people to make changes that don't want to. And no matter how many times we can say it out of our mouth, this is my family, this is my this is my that. It doesn't matter who somebody is. If somebody doesn't know how to treat themselves well, they will not treat you well. And ask yourself, who is this individual on the inside? Do they care about themselves? How do they treat themselves? And do they respect themselves? Because if a person does not respect themselves, they're not going to respect you. And that's a real thing. So I just wanted to come in and have this conversation and say hey to all you gems, and say happy May to everybody. Everybody who knows that the spring is my absolute favorite time of the year. I love the spring, everything about the spring, the flowers, the getting out, the cooler days, being able to get out in nature. And also I use the springtime as a time to think, how have I used the year? Have I wasted my year? Am I enjoying every single day, every single moment? Or am I allowing other people and their negativity and what they're trying to project onto me to stop me from being my best and do my best? Every single one of us has choices that we have to make. Am I going to do my best, or am I going to stand still? Am I going to do nothing? Am I going to give up? Am I going to believe in the lies that other people say about me? Or am I going to prove it by my personal actions? I am phenomenal. And I say that to all of you gems. Each of us is phenomenal in some way or another, with our gifts, you know, with our talents. So use them. Use your talents. Yes, Miss Eunice. You love the spring too. It's your favorite season. It is a time of renewal. Everything is growing and it draws me closer to the Creator. Amen to that, Miss Eunice. So thank you, everybody, to everybody who is here. If one of my mods, if you can put in the link, we're going to go over to Marlene Motivates, and we're going to do my topic. I'm going to pull it up right here. Let's see. My topic for today on Marlene Motivates is let me pull it up. Today's live stream over there is you don't have to react to everything. So come on over. I'm going to be live in probably about 5 more minutes. So if my mods can put the link over there to that channel, to that live stream, I'm going to be live over there in just a few short minutes. And I would really appreciate those of you who want to come over and see an on camera live stream. Thank you all so much. And, love yourself. This is one of the reasons why I do the Life Lessons podcast, to say that every live, I like to end with that. Love yourself. Even when other people don't love you, love yourself from the inside out, and have enough courage to work on yourself. There's nobody that should be more important than you. Don't put other people in front of you. Don't let other people put you off from your focus, from your goals, from using your gifts, from your peace of mind and your happiness. They don't deserve that. Stop giving people that sort of power over you. Don't allow other people's negativity to become yours. You know yourself. You love yourself. You know what you're capable of. Believe that. There's always going to be people who won't like you or will be jealous of you or who will try to, set you up for your downfall. But you're the one that has to do something in order to show that's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. And that's definitely not what I deserve. So, who are you on the inside? I know we talked about a little bit earlier about who are they, other people in our life, but actually, who are you on the inside? When you stop and you think about it, are you proud of who you are? Have you shown growth, personal growth, and maturity? Have you dealt with your past, and the emotional pain, the traumas, the things that you have been through? If you have, I'm so very proud of you. It takes a lot of courage to deal with your past. So I'm always going to reference a support from a professional, from a therapist, from a psychologist, from a mentor, from somebody professional that will help you to be your best. This is a life lessons podcast, and every single person needs some assistance from time to time. But know that you're not alone. Know that you can get through anything. You can do anything that you want to if you have enough courage to walk through it and to face it. Keep your head up, everybody. And I will see you all on tomorrow on the 10 content creators that you should know. And in a few short minutes, I will be live on Marlene Motivates. I hope to see you all there. Everybody have a great rest of your day. And what we say over here on Live with Marlene. Know yourself, love yourself, and be your best self. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.